Hi guys, so today I have a review for this Diamond Press Autumn Window Foliage Dies and Stamp Set. Diamond Press did send this item free of charge for my review, and all opinions are my own. And the links in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you were to purchase any items through those links. So they are going to have a couple of, fall autumn inspired sets. This is one of them. So I will open this up and we'll see what's going on. Because I know right now with the link, and if you go over to HSN, there's just pictures of the items, so it's hard to tell, what size they are and things like that. So let's check these guys out. I do want to mention also on HSN now available are the refill shaker kits for A2 size cards, the Diamond Press, meaning it's their shaker kit that will fill up almost this whole area. So if you want to pick something like that up, just for other shakers, for things that are coming up however you like, that is available too on HSN. I had just not mentioned it yet. Cool. So that's what I was wondering. I was wondering if it's like I saw they were squares, but I really didn't know what size they were. So let's check these guys out. It's like, well, I guess on the very cutting edge, a 3-inch square. If I'm looking at just the cutting edge, that's what they appear to be. So let's open these guys up and see what we got. There we go. I was like, I know there's another set of dice. Look how pretty that is. I love that pumpkin. So nice. And then there's a leaf one. Kind of maple leaves and things in there. And then we have, let me check this out. I'm never real good at reading those backwards, and they're in cursive. Oh, that's so cute. Grateful for you. That's what I was thinking, but I want to make sure. So we have Grateful for You, the pumpkin, and then they always have their idea sheet that kind of gives you an idea of what things look like or how to use them. So what their intention is, and then we have all these cute little leaves that you can use, obviously with this set, with other things, mix and match there. So it says cut a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of cardstock using a paper trimmer. Now, if you have the perforated background dies, this would be a great place to use that to go ahead and just cut your mat. It'll have rounded corners if you want that. Place the desired window die cut side down on cardstock and run through Diamond Press machine. Using adhesive, attach die cut piece to A2 card base and stamp with desired sentiment. Very simple, very easy, very straightforward, and I'm going to make it into a shaker. So let's look at this here. Let's look at the stamps. I always love that they have the colored carrier sheets. They look so pretty. So with gratitude, a friendly hello, pumpkin kisses and harvest wishes, you make me smile. Leaves are falling, autumn's calling, I'm here for you. That's so cute. Happy fall, or a sweet sentiment, I guess. If friends were pumpkins, I'd pick you, and I love that, and I love this pumpkin, and I think that's what I'm going to use. So let me grab some paper, and then they always come with a new folder, and like I said, whenever I have a large die, or like this one that says to go ahead and run the whole basic card front through it, I like to use a newer folder. I'm not going to use this one today because I have one that I started off using for that, but and I always like to use my older folders just so you guys see that they are usable, even if they're a little bit warped or however they might look. So I'm going to use one of my older folders, but I always like to use a crisp one, a newer one, for large dies like that. So let me grab some paper, some inks, and we'll get started. Okay, so I'm going to use this guy, but to start off, I'm going to use the perforated background dies and perforate my paper. Again, 4 by 5 1/4, just like the instructions said. The perforated background does come with, like I said, an outer die that will cut this to about that size for you if you want to do that. But I went ahead and just cut down my paper. Paper does have a white back, so I need to make sure the color is facing down. And this is the leaves one. So I pretty much have used almost everything that's in that perforated set. Kind of obsessed with this perforation. It's really pretty and subtle. So I'm going to put that on here just for an extra, just extra dimension, but you obviously don't have to do this. And let me go with this here. I guess extra texture is the word I'm really looking for. And this is the cutting folder I was telling you guys that I've used a little bit less, so I use it for the background dies, so it's a little more just nicer to get there. Look at that. Oh my goodness. So I was debating if I was going to stamp right on this or not, so we will see if that happens. But what I'm going to do now is go ahead and take my pumpkin And you can layer this up however you like. Maybe you wanted to have a background layer, then do this one on a different paper, however you want. But because look how pretty that would be too if this was cut with something else in the background. You saw the little quiltedness of the pumpkin, you know what I'm saying? Like if this was the whole other piece that was layered on there. And I'm going to tape this because we want it to stay in place. And I think that's pretty good. I mean, I'm just eyeballing this here. I guess I can put my paper straight so we can see. That kind of helped out. And here we go. Maybe a little bit more this way. And I'm going to tape it down in a couple corners just in case it shifts while I'm putting it there. And I am taping it more towards the inner part because that part's going to fall away anyway. Okay. And let's get our pretty card front here. Now I'm going to do probably embossing with some pigment ink and things, but which will add another step. However, this card is coming together really quickly anyhow. And as you can see, using a fresher cutting folder keeps it nice and straight. Sometimes it can pinch. What happens is if you use an older folder, it'll like pinch like a little crease in here. So just to keep it nice and flat, I would say use a newer folder for larger dies. So pretty and delicate. And then the little quilting is kind of in there too. Obviously you can see it. Gorgeous. Look how delicate that is. If you wanted a paper piece back into this, just be careful with your pieces. There's not a lot for if you want to paper piece something back in here. There's literally 1, 2, 3 pieces for your pumpkin, so that would be really pretty. Okay. Let me clean up here and then we'll go to the stamping. So I have here the Friends Were Pumpkins, I'd Pick You, and you can kind of see through there that fits in there nicely. It wouldn't be much more difficult if you were to stamp this on another piece of paper, like a different color, than put it on here. But I'm just kind of following along with what they said there, but of course you can make this as extra as you like. Let me just put this down so I know it's kind of straight there. And especially if you're kind of new to stamping, maybe you don't want to go ahead and just stamp right in there, then you can you know, stamp it on something else and then cut it out with a nice little rectangle or a shape or something and get that down there. Now let me see here, something like that. I'm going to use a little bit of the tape that I had used to cut it just to hold this down because it wants to pop up. And that way I'm a little more secure there. And then I'm just going to use this gold pigment ink. So you can use a pigment ink. It takes forever to dry. So after I use the gold ink, I do have some old gold embossing embossing powder I'm going to use. You can also just stamp this in your Versa mark or watermark ink. It doesn't have to be gold, but I'm like, well, I might as well go gold and just give it a really good punch. So let me get this on here. So I have not tried this specific pigment ink before. I just opened it. I know the Anna Griffin one is really great, but people say she doesn't make it anymore. So that's another something to contend with. So I'm going to push down. I really want to make sure that this sticks. You could have used your embossing buddy, which I always forget to bring out, just to make sure your embossing powder only sticks to your ink. This is really quick, you guys. Oh, so pretty. Look at that. And that looks gorgeous just like that. But I'm just going to punch it up with a little bit of powder. Again, embossing or pigment inks, they will dry. They just take a really long time. Okay, and see that kind of dulls it a little bit because the powder is dull looking. Ooh, I hope I don't knock it over. I'm gonna take my heat gun and just heat that up. And again, just hold it until it starts getting shiny. And once it starts getting shiny, move to the next area. Hopefully you can see that. We're good. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit for a minute to cool down, and I'm gonna grab some acetate and something to put in the shaker, and I'll be right back. Okay, so for the background, I did cut a piece of acetate. I always keep my little pieces just in case, you never know. I did have one piece that was just a little too small, so I was like, oh, but I cut this just a little over 3 inches because really you only need it here to cover that area. So what I'm going to do is, where is, you know, I haven't seen my little glue bottle. That's what I'm missing. Okay, well, I'm just going to take a little bit of tacky glue, very little, because I don't want it to warp my paper. And I'll put it around the edge here. And I'm kind of flattening it out because I don't want it to squeeze out this way once we get our acetate on there. And then as far as this background piece, oh, there's still some. Again, people like to use their Xyrons or whatever that you like to use. A gal said she uses a binder clip with a piece of sponge, so I'm assuming the binder clip is holding the sponge and she dips it in glue and then dips it on the back there. And I just kind of do this kind of thing, but I'm going to flatten it out because I don't want it to get all over. And really get into the loose spots like that guy. Just kind of pushing it down so all those little pieces get some glue and they'll hold on. And not get too gooey all outside, okay? And I always have my little trusty towel here, just kind of wipe that. And let's get our little piece here. So I cut it, again, just over 3 inches, since this square we know is a 3-inch square. I did want to mention, and I think this is kind of funny, initially I didn't know what size these were, so I was like, oh, wouldn't that be cool though if it was small enough to do a slimline card, and you could do all 3 of the little squares on it, right? So a slimline card is usually like 3.5 by 8.5. So if these are 3, that might be a little bit too big. So maybe you can do like 2 of them, and then some kind of sentiment in the middle or something cute like that. I don't know, or just that, and then make the rest, you know, just a nice slimline card. It'll fit on the front really, really perfectly. Don't want to get glue all over the place. I'll turn it over. And I talked about this before. If you get any glue like on the acetate, you can just use some water on a little towel and just kind of wipe it away. So I'm just being gentle with that. I'm gonna wait for that to dry a little bit and we'll put our card together. Okay, so I put my little marquee on there just for a little weight, which is something I like to do to flatten things out. So I just have a standard A2 size card base. This is just some craft cardstock I have cut. So it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25, and I actually scored it. All right, we're just gonna pop this on here. And I just went with craft cardstock because I thought it was pretty, just in that kind of neutral, natural color for fall. And from here I'm just going to put some of my foam tape. I'm not getting too close to the edges. Sometimes we have to go real close to the edges depending on your die. So I'm just going to bring it in just a little bit, just so it's not as noticeable on the edges. And like I said, some people like to color the edges of their foam tape to match the color of the card so it's less noticeable in the back. And that's just as easy as taking a marker or a, you know, a Spectrum Noir, whatever it is that you like, and just coloring this edge. Okay, I don't mind, well, a lot of times I just kind of keep it simple. I try to block off any extra places, just because you don't have to put enough sequins or confetti or glitter or whatever you want to use to go into this space. So I just kind of block that off. Okay, where do we start? Over here. And I'm just going to use the same glitter I've been using for a very long time now. But any of your diamond press little confetti makers that would look nice in there, that'd be fun. Maybe use double-sided like metallic paper, that would be extra pretty too to cut from. Okay. And I have this gold because I wanted to use gold, but I thought, well, maybe just a little bit of green, I don't know. The smallest amount of green. If I had some orange, I would love to have that, but mostly gold. Ooh. And I always try to get every little bit in there. And just the smallest, ooh, let's put something on here. And just a small amount of green. Actually, that looks really pretty. Oh, I love it. Okay, and then moment of truth. Try to center it as well as you can. And I always like to turn it over to give it a good squish, and then we'll have the reveal. So really quick card. I mean, obviously I did some extra things. You don't have to do the embossing and the perforation and all that kind of stuff, but that all adds to your card, and look how pretty that is. Love it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll have pictures for you, links in the description box, and look at that. So cute. All right, keep your eyes peeled for the next few tutorials I'll have coming up here with the Diamond Press previews. And again, most of the items are already there on HSN, so links will be in the description box. See you at the next one, guys. Bye now.